Our today's guest is the founder of this wonderful organization called Kadji Care. Hi Nikunj sir, welcome to the show. How are you? Again.
I'm doing great. Thank you, Nil.
How did you come up with the idea of Kadji Care,
It's not just me. There are many other families also who are to be taken care of at home, and it's difficult, right? For qualified people, it is difficult, and of course, when they are not available, it's even difficult. So that gave me thought of doing something, and that's how thoughts of Kadji started, and it started back in 2011.
What is your role right now in Kadji? I am sure you might be having many doctors to stand by.
So we are a team of 70 people, right? So my primary role is to ensure that all these 70 people are running with me with the vision that I am carrying. Right? If somebody is sitting, our goal is to make them stand. If somebody is standing, our goal is to make them walk. Somebody is walking, make them run, right? And these are all small targets that we set up for ourselves.
What are the challenges you face on a daily basis,
Right. So the commonest challenges that I can share is to do with food.
To do with food?
Food.
Oh, there's this separation anxiety, between patients and their family.
Right.
And you are the person, you as a team, you have to handle both the paths.
The biggest fear is imagining the size of the fear.
Yes,
right.
Rightly said.
So we don't want that to happen with our prospective inmates. So that transition is a very slow, smooth and very subtle.
I know there are different, sections. There is this rehabilitation center. There is this, old age home also. How many other factors are there?
So there are 4 key sections in our organizations. The first is neurological rehabilitation and care, and this includes those patients who are paralyzed. The second section of the people is those who have recently been operated, right? The third category is the mental health care and rehabilitation. The fourth category is the care of a special need children.
How are families reacting, relatives reacting to your care or your appreciation?
So most of the family members, they become our extended family members, right? And there is a constant communications, right? We have 3 major channels for the communication. One is WhatsApp, other is telephone, and third is email. Right? They constantly get details on WhatsApp, right? जैसे आज उनका BP क्या था?
Oh.
आज उन्होंने खाना ठीक से खाया कि कुछ कम खाया?
Right. What are the future plans of Kadji Care?
So our focus is more towards rehabilitations, right? We want to bring positive change in the life of any age group of people, right? We are coming up with a 55 luxurious room rehab facility, wherein the rehab facility is spread in 4,000 square foot of area, right? And the focus primarily is on 3 aspects. One is exercise, that is to move. Second is nutrition.
Right.
And the third is behavior changes.
Hi everyone, this is Hinal Panchal and welcome to the talk show Extreme Gratitude. The talk show where we invite people who are extremely passionate about something or are constantly contributing in doing so. With that intention, our today's guest is the founder of this wonderful organization called Kadji Care. Let's find out with him the reason behind his success, the challenges he faces on the daily basis. So let's not wait and welcome Mr. Nikunj Chavda. Hi Nikunj sir, welcome to the show. How are you? Again.
I'm doing great. Thank you, Nil.
Okay. So I'll start with Kadji Care. The question is that how did you come up with the idea of Kadji Care? How did you come up with the background? And as you said that it's an organization, So yeah, please.
So I remember when I was 2 or 3 years young, and my Dadi was bedbound and she was supposed to be assisted for everything.
Okay.
And the only thing I remember is a picture of ice cream that I was feeding in her mouth, and in return I was getting a whole ice cream bag for me to have it. So somewhere in the subconscious mind, it got registered that helping older people gives you an ice cream.
Yes.
So I believe it all started from there. And then after a few years, when I got into my studies in the first year, my nanny got the cerebellar tumor, that is a tumor of the brain, and she became completely dependent. So since I was a medical student studying in the college, I started developing networks and some techniques such as identifying medicines and offering the medicines. So I was the one who was offering her medicines, helping her in feeding. And then later I moved to abroad for study. I happened to work for an NGO, in fact 3 NGOs who were involved in taking care of disabled people and old people. So somewhere I feel I was destined to work in this industry, right? From my 3 years of age experience to my college experience with nannies and my work experience while I was studying. So after completing my studies, I went abroad, and as I said, I started working for NGOs, which also happened, by God's choice. I would say I was not selected, rather I was elected to do that.
Okay.
When I came back for my family reason.
Okay, you worked in NGO over there in Australia.
Yes, I work for an NGO called Cerebral Palsy League, which works for cerebral palsy kids, right?
Okay.
And then an organization called Life Without Barriers. They are into disability care and also old age care.
Okay.
Yeah. So that was my study with work experience, right? And then when I decided to come back, my father also required a care, right? So that was the family environment was developed in such a way that you needed certain things, certain network. You had to get few things at home for father's care, right? So this gave me a thought of look, it's not just me, there are many other families also who are to be taken care of at home, and it's difficult, right? For qualified people it is difficult, and of course when they are not available it's even difficult. So that gave me a thought of doing something, and that's how thoughts of Kadji started, and it started back in 2011.
Okay. So it's been 11, 12, 13 years? 13,
this is 13th year. In fact, 14th July is our foundation day.
Wow.
So we are completing 13 years and entering into 14th years.
Right. As I know, you are the founder of this thing. But what is your role right now in Kadji? I am sure you might be having many doctors to stand by, as the organization is. And please also give the brief about your organization, how it works, as we were talking, off camera, that it's very interesting to know that how it works and how it is channeled in a way that it's so smooth. There are people available to help. And I would first like to know, what is your role right now?
So we are a team of 70 people, right? So my primary role is to ensure that all these 70 people are running with me with the vision that I am carrying, with the mission that I am carrying, right? It is difficult sometimes to sort of infringe the same thoughts and feelings in other people's mind about what I think on what I'm doing, right? So that is, for me, it's the primary role is to align everyone else with the same vision that I'm carrying. That is my primary role. Secondary, I would say the quality of life of the people that we are serving, right? So to ensure that it doesn't become just dependent care, right? The quality of life is very, very important, irrespective of the status of their disease or mobility. My role along with my team is to find out what they can do, what small thing they can do, right? I'll give an example. We had somebody with full body psoriasis, right? And the gripping was not possible, okay? So after 7 days, we saw that now he can grasp something in the hand. So the team sat and decided, what can we do with this small movement? So we came up with a solution, or rather an idea, that let us help him grasp a spoon, right? So that he can feed himself, right? So these are the small things which makes person feel that he can do something, right? It's not about coming to us and being cared for. It's about coming to us, being cared for, and achieve a small thing.
Giving them confidence at
Right.
that point of time is also
Exactly.
very
Exactly.
important.
The worst feeling in the world is to be dependent on somebody else.
Yes.
Right. Although we are into the care and helping others, everything on one side, but the difference that we create is, along with the care, we have a vision to make them independent also, right? If somebody is sitting, our goal is to make them stand. If somebody is standing, our goal is to make them walk. Somebody is walking, make them run, right? And these are all small targets that we set up for ourselves. And as I said, my role is also to align my team to think in the same way, right? Rather than not just to do a 9 to 5 job and feed somebody or help someone, and then no, you help them with some objective in the mind that you want to achieve something for the person, right?
Yes.
So that's my primary role.
Like, do they all live over there,
Yes.
nearby Kadji?
So we have a wonderful setup. You will feel absolutely like home. So it's like home with hospital type services, right?
Okay.
With the medical services. So if you visit Kadji, you will not find that you are in a very structured corporate type of hospitals,
Yes.
right? What you will find is absolutely a feeling of home. And we want to keep it the same way in all our homes, right? Although the people that you will meet, they will have a variety of skills. Somebody will be great at the nursing care, somebody will be great at behavioral skills, somebody will be great at therapeutic skills. So the team of 70 people have a variety of skills that are applied for the better care of the people who come and stay with us.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So okay, nice. And how many doctors do you have over there right now?
We have a team of 12 therapists,
Wow.
team of 4 to 5 key doctors, right? And these key doctors includes physicians, family physicians, uh, surgeon who are on calls. We have a regularly visiting psychiatrist, regularly visiting counselors, and other specialists who are on call. So it again depends on who is looking for our care, right? Somebody suffering from neurological disorder, we have a fixed team and also a variable team where we may identify somebody. For example, neuropsychiatrist is required, so we appoint somebody, request them to come and visit our facility, versus the person goes and visit that place. So we create a team along with our existing team based on the requirement of the person.
Wow. And like, I know there are different, sections. There is this rehabilitation
Yeah.
center. There is this, old age home
Yes.
also. Like, how many other factors are there?
So there are 4 key sections in our organizations, which starts in this order. So first is neurological rehabilitation and care, and this includes those patients who are paralyzed, right?
Okay.
The second section of the people is those who have recently been operated, right? For example, if I tell you the most common fracture that happens in a particular age is a fracture of hip bone, right?
Yeah.
And this mostly happens when somebody goes for the shower or goes into the washroom. They slip in the washroom and there is a crack in the hip. So this particular issues required a long-term
Treatment and care.
treatment and proper care to prevent the complications,
Yes.
right? And at the same time, because with proper planned therapeutic interventions, this patient can get back to the normal life. It is very important that we identify and assess the patients properly. And in such scenario, if the children are not available at the home, it becomes even worse situations,
Yeah.
right? So most of the doctors do refer such patients to us, right?
Okay.
Primarily for the rehabilitations, and secondarily because there is nobody technically capable to look after them. The third category is the mental health care and rehabilitation.
Okay.
Now this is pretty critical and my personal focus is a lot on this particular category. Nowadays, dementia is booming like anything, right?
Yes.
So the forgetfulness, the short-term memory loss, this is making the life of seniors very difficult, right? Irrespective of they are living alone or they are living with somebody else, right? What happens is that because of the loss of memory, they even forget that they themselves have to be taken care of, right? They are supposed to take shower, they're supposed to maintain their hygienes, and somehow these issues create some interpersonal clashes in the families as well.
Right, right. And it's also about loss of muscle memory.
Uh,
Gradual.
so they forget everything. They forget to move. They forget to, when they are sleeping, they forget to lie down, for example.
Oh,
Right? It goes to that extent. Right?
okay.
So we have given them medicines and they forgot that the medicines is be given. So they keep on demanding about it.
Oh,
So, and when such people stay at home, it becomes difficult for the fellow
Everyone.
members, to take care of such situations.
right.
So that's the third category. And the fourth category is the care of a special need children, right? And this category also needs a specialized team. So we have a separate team who takes care of these children 24/7 in the absence of their parents.
Like, what is the age group of children?
So we cannot take anybody less than 18 years of age. Legally, we are not able to do that because it's 24/7 care. So
Yeah.
any child become adult by this age,
Yeah,
but certain disabilities such as IDD, right, intellectual developmental disorders, wherein even the person of 50 years of physical age behave like 4 or 5 years of child. So we also take care of such people, right? So these are the 4 main categories of our services.
Right, right. And do they all live together under one roof, or you people with dementia, as you mentioned? Are they, separated, or how's the environment?
Right. So it's an inclusive environment.
Okay.
Right? First of all, we don't label them as per their
Patients.
disabilities. Right? We
Okay.
don't want to make them realize.
Right.
At the same time, as you rightly ask, we also have to maintain the respects and the routine of other
Exactly.
inmates as well.
Exactly.
So our structure is laid in such a way that the person feels as a family. So it's a cluster of 5 to 6 rooms with common areas, common dining, right? So it's not an extensive hotel-like structure where you feel that you are stuck in certain area and you're not able to come out, right? The special process that we follow is that we introduce them and certain expectations of the person's behavior to the existing residents, patients as well. We tell them that we are going to expect somebody like this,
Right.
So we will have to behave in certain way. Please don't mind if the person may get aggravated, right? So these things are done before the person gets admitted to our facilities.
Okay.
And same is applicable to them also, right? We tell their families also that this is how the structure is, this is how the people are in and around the rooms. So it's pretty planned right before they decide to move into our facilities.
Right, right. And what are the age group, like other than the children section,
Right.
which you mentioned? Like, what is the average ratio की इतने एज के ही लोग आते हैं? Like,
हमारे यहाँ वैरायटी ऑफ एज, एज आई सेड, बच्चों से लेके
right.
people in the mid age as well. We have ladies in their 40s, 50s. ज़्यादातर we are taking care of people above age of 80, right? We also have one of the Dada is turning 100 now.
Wow.
So it's a variety of age, you can say.
Right, right. As you mentioned, this is my personal question out of this thing कि आपने बोला कि there's this separation anxiety, between patients and their family.
Right.
And you are the person, like you as a team, you have to handle both the paths.
Yes.
I'm quite sure. And for that, you need a lot of, power to heal them to an extent where they feel safe.
Yes.
Family feels that, okay, my family member, the other family member is the safe place. Like, how do you connect? How do you explain them about everything? Because
Right.
initially it's very hard for a You know, if I keep myself in that place, it is quite difficult to even think about, you know, though the parent is suffering from a major illness, but still it's very difficult to, you know, and there's also society pressure,
Right.
you know, that what would others think, that इन्हें तो ओल्ड एज होम में रख दिया या इन्हें दूर कर दिया.
Yes. Correct.
But to a point, it is very difficult for a family
Yes.
to, you know, manage everything.
So what we do is that we identify decision makers, right? So for example, the mother is to be taken care of by us, right? So the family decides that we have to explore the options. So in the family also we ask the decision makers only, right? Because in some families somebody is not available, right?
Yes.
So we ask those decision makers to come and spend some time with us, spend some time with our existing beneficiaries who are taking our services, have food with them, right? Get socialized. What will happen is that those interactions and feeling firstly remove a guilt from the decision maker's mind,
Right.
that what they are going to do is ideal for their parents or the family members, right? Then we ask their beneficiaries, like for example mother, right, to bring along them, not for the admission but just to spend few hours, play games with them, right? Bring them for a couple of days, right? And then tell them that, did you like the environment? Right? How about staying there for a few days, right? Rather than telling them, you know, we are going to shift you from your home to care home, right? Because the biggest fear is imagining the size of the fear.
Yes.
Right.
Rightly said.
So we don't want that to happen with our prospective inmates, right? So that transition is a very slow, smooth and very subtle. It is never a sudden transitions, right? And this is taken care of to reduce the separation anxiety, as you rightly said, right? Of course, some anxiety will remain, right? But our goal is not to turn that anxiety into actual physical
Fear.
disorder or disease,
Yeah.
right? So for that also we have counselors, we have psychiatrists. The people are also trained in such a way that the person feels warmth of care instead of having a feeling of coming to an unknown place, right?
Right.
So
You know, there might be many challenges faced by you. You know, during this, the whole process is quite
yes,
long, time consuming, and needs a lot of patience, which I can see you have a lot of patience. You're very calm as a person. But like, what are the challenges you face on a daily basis, you know?
right.
कि यार ये चीज़ तो every second patient में आती है, you know?
So the commonest challenges that I can share is to do with food.
To do with food. Oh.
Because that's the only thing that they look forward to, right? We have a very set schedule of like itineraries or items or recipes, right? Especially with female, right? Female have a certain taste, they have a certain affinity. The challenge that we face is that everyone has some or the other disease or issues. For example, somebody has high creatinine, right? And these patients, if they have creatinine more than 4, then we cannot give any spice. We cannot give few things such as tomatoes, bindi, pulses, and so many limitations that for us has become difficult to take care of their mental aspect, right?
Yes.
They become so fed up, right? Though we suffice them with the medically guided diet, but for us also seeing that monotonous food, which is our limitations in such cases, they become fed. Why am I being fed this only? Why can't I eat something else? And to explain this to them is a tougher task.
Yeah, that too in absence of their family.
Absence of the families, plus they becoming depressed for this particular issues. And why this issue is important? Because this is the only thing that they look forward to, right? Lunch आ गया है अभी, नाश्ते में क्या आएगा, नाश्ता आ गया है अभी, डिनर में क्या आएगा, right?
Like, how do you manage? Like, as you mentioned that there are different patients. So are the food made differently for...
Absolutely. Everyone has their different dietitian prescribed dishes. So we have 3 to 4 variety. One is regular diet, other is a semi-solid diet because many of them have denture issues, etc. Third is a protein restricted diet. We call it PRD, right? So this is given mainly to patients with kidney issues. The fourth is salt restricted diet, which is given to patients with blood pressures, right? And there is something called liquid diet, which is given to patients who are on the nasogastric feeding. So pipe se khana dena padta hai unko. So these are 5 categories. And of course, diabetic diet is always there. 1/3 of the patients are diabetes.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
It's the second most dangerous thing happening.
It is the most disappointing disease, I would say, right? Because it restricts you to eat something which you like the most.
Yeah. Even girls, even I have PCOS because my family has a history of diabetes.
Correct.
My nanny has diabetes. My mom is prone towards diabetic, structures. Though she doesn't have diabetes, but and it's very disturbing to an extent where doctors tell you ki these are the factors you have to look after at this young age.
Yes. So and the affinity is more towards sweet foods, right?
Yes.
You are in a party and people are eating cakes and chocolates.
Constant sugar, sugar intake, constant sugar intake.
Yes.
Right. I would really want to ask that. I know it's a very normal question. You might be, meeting elderly people every day in your organization. Like, how do they react when, they are settled, when they're happy at their own pace, they are interacting with everybody, they are enjoying festivals, they are watching TV. I saw one of your posts where, they were watching TV all together.
Yes.
So how do you feel when they give you gratitude?
Right. So in our organization, there are 4 to 5 sets of people who have to see them and ask few questions and interact them, right? Very casually. So nothing structured as such, because we don't want them to feel like, oh, this doctor has come, he's going to ask certain questions. No, it's never like that, right? So for me, if you ask, I ensure I meet them at least not for more than gap of 5 days, right? And that I do it intentionally because my purpose of visiting them is to find out what problem they are facing, right? Which they can't say to somebody else, for example, right? Somebody in the sense, someone who is seeing them every day, right? So when I go and ask them, they quietly ask me to sit separately and they want to tell me something. Okay, look, on that day, the dal was too thick or it's too thin, or my daughter did not call me.
Genuine issues. Those are genuine issues.
Issues, right? They are not wrong.
They are not wrong.
And for them, these are the biggest problems.
Yeah.
And the thing is, they don't want to share it to everyone.
Yes.
Right? So they have selected people in the mind, and luckily I am one of them. So they interact to me in this way, and I love to hear those issues. And when I personally find out some solutions, right, to those issues, the next visit becomes very important for me. Right, and very fascinating. So there's hugs and blessings, and these pictures are different to imagine and difficult to share.
Yes.
Feeling of being blessed.
Even they are, they develop a friendship with the point of time, with their, but they can't share this. It might look dumb, because because मैंने जैसे बोला ना पहले कि after a age you are very restricted.
Absolutely.
So it's hard to adjust with the new environment. And though after adjusting, there are these problems which they face.
There are problems and there are opportunities as well. Right? They make a lot of friends, right? Sometimes they don't want to get separated from those friends as well, right? Because somebody is sharing 2 rooms and one of the inmate or residents' family decides to take them back.
Okay.
And that also becomes a difficult task for us to counsel and convince the fellow resident on those situations.
मतलब ऐसा होता है कि they have made a group and they don't want them to
literally cry.
Oh.
They literally cry.
Wow.
And these scenes are difficult for us to see and manage,
Like how frequently does this happen when the family decides to get them back?
The frequency is very less. Most of the people, they come with us initially for a few months and then they decide to stay for a longer time. But look, separation doesn't mean family taking them. Sometimes it's also death, right, which is inevitable. So in the case of death, for us it's difficult to sort of counsel the fellow resident, especially in the shared room, right?
Oh, that's a next problem then.
It is a bigger problem. It's a challenge.
Right.
It's a challenge. So then we have to shift her to the room where there is a similar profile kind of resident.
Oh, so it's a whole mind game that
Yes.
goes.
Yes.
Wow. Okay, so you must be getting feedbacks from relatives and patients also.
Yeah.
And yeah, for patients you get daily feedbacks. जैसे आपने बोला every 5 days you meet. But how are families reacting, relatives reacting to your care or your appreciation?
So most of the family members, they become our extended family members, right? And there is a constant communications, right? We have 3 major channels for the communication. One is WhatsApp, other is telephone, and third is email, right? They constantly get details on WhatsApp, right? जैसे आज उनका BP क्या था,
Oh,
आज उन्होंने खाना ठीक से खाया कि कुछ कम खाया.
just like a kindergarten
Kind
child.
of, absolutely.
Oh.
Because they also have an anxiety कि for example उनके parents diabetic है तो आज hope की sugar बढ़ा ना हो, right? So our policy is whatever we record, we share it with them right there and then. So we have a system developed in such a way. We also have an application developed wherein they get a live feedback, and these feedbacks are genuine feedbacks, right? If something wrong has happened, we also have to tell that.
Yes.
If something great has happened, we definitely tell them, right? So their anxiety is also considered as a priority, right? Most of them are abroad, right? And when you are in the country and your parents are vulnerable to few things, right, it's their right to know what's happening with them.
Yeah.
Right. So these are the ways that we take care of these particular challenges as well.
Right. What are the future plans of Kadji Care?
So our focus is more towards rehabilitations, right? We want to bring positive change in the life of any age group of people, right? When I say positive changes, it's about if somebody is disabled, right, try to make them functional. So we are coming up with a 55 luxurious room rehab facility, wherein the rehab facility is spread in 4,000 square foot of area, right? And the focus primarily is on 3 aspects. One is exercise, that is to move. Second is nutrition.
Right.
And the third is behavior changes.
Oh.
Right. These are the 3 things that we are working on, and the next venture that is coming in the month of August is where we are going to focus and actually implement this practically on the ground with a wonderful expert team in these 3 different domains.
Right.
Yeah.
We have your branch over in Vadodara over here.
Yes.
2 branches, right?
3 branches.
3 branches.
Yeah.
That is Akota,
Tandalja, and Natubai Circle.
Natubai Circle, and then we also have Kadji Care in Anand.
Yes.
Right. Yeah. Even in Anand, there's a lot more ratio of people abroad.
Yes. So that particular region is known as an NRI region.
NRI section. Whole.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it is important to consider their parents' status as well. Right? On the other side, there are many parents staying abroad who want to come back.
Yes.
Right. However, they would take the decision provided they have a safe and secure environment with paramedical and medical supports. Right. Because taking this decision is it's a big task, right? You just can't get up and say I want to go to India. So we help them also, right? And it's a long process of discussion, counseling, understanding, making them aware about what challenges they will have, right? What are the availabilities of services,
Right.
so it's a process in itself.
What is your best learning so far through the process of this 13 years with Kadji? There might be very personal learnings also, right?
One of the biggest learning that I can share, and I'm sure the viewer also would agree, is to remain productive. Right? If you somewhere sacrifice that, right? When I say remain productive is in two sense, right? One, to remain mobile.
Okay.
Right? If you somewhere get some disease where your mobility is compromised, eventually you are going to be some liability to your fellow members in the family.
Right.
And the second methodology or the purpose of saying productive is to be productive mentally, right? To keep doing something, whether it generates finance, it doesn't generate finance, that's secondary. So why I am saying is that I have seen even bureaucrats taking our services, politicians taking our services, big corporate CEOs taking our services. During their age, there were certain scientists working with ISROs, they have taken our services. And when they talk about their productive days, right, they always pray that I wish I could have kept myself active.
Right.
Right. And that is the biggest learning of last 13-15 years of being and serving these people. One of the productiveness is to be active, to be mobile, to be able to go from one place to other place, right? Because that allows you to do and manage yourself, to socialize, right? If there is a compromise in this productivity, there are so many complications, compromise that we have to face. The other productivity is a mental productivity, of course, right? If you are not doing anything, that means you are not thinking anything, that means you are thinking negative.
Yes. Right. Sitting idle.
Sitting idle. I mean, if you're not thinking, you are definitely thinking negative. If you're thinking which is productive, that will make you do something. That's positive. Right. So, and the irony is that we never think or give importance to our present capability. Neither we think that we have to maintain this status. And that is the reason why we want to focus on being active, that is exercising, eating a nutritious meal rather than junk meals, right? Which is
very important for your mental health also, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
In US, there is a firm called American College of Lifestyle Medicine, and they are now considering food as medicine. Okay, so food as medicine.
As medicine.
So you have to eat as if you are eating a medicine in a positive manner, right? If you don't eat correct food, you will have to eat only medicine.
Yeah.
Right, then food is bypassed.
Food to heal.
Food to heal, right? Food to sustain, food to keep you active,
right? Happy
positively. So therefore, my learning out of my experience is no matter what, be productive.
Right. I just feel like I keep listening to you. It's so nice to be with you right here. So thank you so much, sir, for being here. Inviting our invitation.
Thank you.
And we are very glad. I will surely visit Kadji.
You're most welcome.
Very soon, because I've also always heard of it. I never, one-on-one ऐसी conversation किसी के साथ नहीं हुई जो चलाते हैं ये पूरी organization.
Right.
And it's so amazing to hear such thing that we have this facilities over here, which is stress-free for both, for patients and for the family.
Absolutely. Yeah. Please do come with your family.
Yeah, sure. I will,
Yeah.
And I would also like to suggest people, which I think are facing problems with such, similar diseases, or the people like you have in your organization.
I'll be happy to help them.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.